Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue with function notation. So in the previous 9 problems, we had function notation. It looks something like this. And the F just tells us which function we're talking to. So as you could see for these next 4 examples, we're talking to this one. Okay, and we're given a graph. And then the number that is inside the parenthesis is telling us what X is supposed to be. So in this problem, X is 2. So since we're given the graph, there's nothing we're supposed to substitute in. We just need to read the graph. So this is the x-axis. And if x is 2, so this is 1, this is 2. So we always start at the origin. And then positive numbers are over here. So we're going to move over 2. And then we need to find the y value. When x is 2 on the graph, the y value here is 1. So our answer is 1. Okay, so now number 10b here. So this is the x value. So we go to the x-axis, we go to 0, and then the y value is right here at 0. Okay, the next one is telling us that x is -2. So we're going to go to the negative side of the graph and go to -2, so right here. And the y value on the graph when x is -2 is right here at -1. Okay, then we are given that x is -4, so we start at the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the graph's y value when x is -4 is -2. So the numbers down here are all negative, so it's -2. Okay, then the last one says, for what x value or values, so there could be more than one, so we're going to find x. So if we're finding x this time, the number they give us is the output, the y value. So now they gave us the y. So in all of these, they gave us the x, but now they're telling us to find x. So we're going to go to the y-axis and go to 2. So here's 1, here's 2. And we want to find what x value goes up to 2. So for example, this one is at 0, this is halfway, right? So right here, this point right here has a y value of 2, and the x value is 4 here. So when x equals 4, so the answer is 4. So when x is 4, we get an output of 2. Okay. So let's go ahead and try another example here. So this one has a g, so we know we're using this graph and not the previous graph. And so instead of x, they're telling us to go to -1. So here's -1, and if we go up to the graph, the y value here is 5. Okay, then g of -2, so right here. And that y value here is 4. G of -3, that y value is 5. F of -5, so right here. The graph, it looks like right here, so at -10. Okay, then the last one here says, for what x value? So we're going to find x. So if we're trying to find x, they gave us y. So again, it says for what x value or value, so there could be more than one, is g of x equal to 5. So I'm going to go to the y-axis. So this is the y-axis. I'm going to go to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's where y is 5. And I need to find which x value goes up to 5. So nothing over here. This one goes up to 5. So when x is -1, and then also right here, when x is -3, they both have y values of 5. So there's 2 answers there. Now, when you're doing your homework, it might say, tell me just one of them. But if it doesn't say, tell me just one, it wants all of them. There could be 3 of them. There could be 4. In this problem, there's just 2 x's that go and reach up to 5 here, have an output of 5. Okay, so for this next problem, I would pause the video, try number 12 on your own, and then push play to check your answers when you are ready. Okay, so h of negative 4. So again, the number in the parenthesis represents x. This is how we know. So we're going to go to negative 4. So here's 0, the origin. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and negative 4 is right here. And the y value is 2 right here. Okay, then h of 0 is right here. So the y value is also 0 there. H of negative 3. It looks like it's halfway. So 1, 2, 3, and it looks like halfway. So I'm going to get rid of these equal signs, and I'm going to put these squiggly lines here. That means about. It means I'm kind of going to have to approximate because I'm not sure. So it looks like it's 1, 2, 3, about 3.5. So if you were to put 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, I would accept any of those. So this one is in between 3 and 4. So my answer looks like it's about halfway. And that's what these squiggle lines mean. Okay, next we're asked to find h of negative 5. So here's negative 5. So x is negative 5. And the y value is 0 there. Okay, next it says find x. So if we're finding x, this number has to be y then. So it says find x when h of x equals negative 2. So what x value will have a y value of negative 2? So I'm going to go to the y-axis. I'm going to go to negative 2, so right here. It looks like right here to me. So when x is 2, it has a y value of negative 2. So x equals 2. Okay, then we're asked again to find x. So if we're finding x, this number has to be y. So I'm going to go to the y-axis. I'm going to go to 0, so right here. And I want to know all the x values that have a y of 0. So x equals 0. And right here, when x equals negative 5, both of these points have a y value of 0. So for instance, if I write the ordered pair for this point, it's at negative 4, 0. This ordered pair is at 0, 0. So that's what this is saying. What x values have an output of 0? So both negative 4, negative 5, sorry. Negative 5 and 0 both have an output of 0. That's what these are saying here.